Hi, I'm Charlie. I don't really greet people in real life, so this is gonna be awkward. I am here starting a YouTube channel because just a few months ago I got accepted to my dream school in LA and I'm gonna go out there and learn acting. And that seems like the kind of thing I kind of want to document, and I'm like, I'm a narcissistic actor. I should share this with the internet. So I did. Right now, though, I'm not heading out until October, and it's, May. So I decided that the best thing to do would be to just introduce myself slowly over a course of lifetime story videos. I've had a weird life. You'll probably get some cringe and some laughs. I was sitting down trying to figure out the first story I wanted to tell you guys, and the first one that came to mind was the story of, because we're doing all the firsts, the first show I was ever in. The first show I was ever in, first show that was like actually auditioned and you had a chance of not getting in if you tried out. That first show was Oliver. Oliver was being put on by the local community college all the way back in 2006, and I was not excited to audition. I'd only ever auditioned one time for my elementary school play, and that was one of those shows where it's an elementary school play, so everybody gets in, and I didn't have to be worried. And I am, along with being fairly narcissistic, also very afraid of failure. So I was just like, I don't know about this. But my parents made me go anyway. So I get up there with all these other little kids. I sing off key. I dance terribly. I don't read the lines very well because I'm 8. And so I decided immediately that, probably not going to get into that one. The other thing with that show was that a lot of the auditions and the rehearsals and the, performances were happening on Sundays. And I was Mormon at the time, and Mormons don't really do stuff on Sundays. They just kind of sit at home, pondering religion. So I didn't really think that even if I got in, I was going to be able to participate. But lo and behold, a few days later, cast list goes up, I go and see it, and hey, there's my name. Cool. Now, I distinctly remember this next part, because the next part was the first cast meeting, and the first cast meeting was on Mother's Day. So not only was it a Sunday, but it was also B, Mother's Day. You don't do things on Mother's Day unless it's for your mom. But hey, I was 8, and it was the first cast meeting, so off we went, I giddy out of my little pants to not have to go to church that day. And the first thing the director says is, you will be on time. And here in the theater, on time does not mean on time. On time means 10 minutes late. And then we all repeated his favorite phrase, which I have engraved into my brain at this point. 10 minutes early is on time is late, and late is unacceptable. That's literally stuck with me all the way through the intervening 11 years to now when I'm going to acting school. Now, the important thing about this show was the fact that I had never done it before. I wasn't really learning a lot of the ins and outs of, actually acting and being on stage. I was in the Workhouse Gang, and if you know that show, which I'm sure at least a few of you do, you know that if you count the bows, the Workhouse Gang is in 2 seats. So I wasn't really on stage that much, but what I did pick up from that first show was a lot of the theater etiquette, how you act backstage. Not touching other people's props, not going into the big kids' dressing room because that was not your dressing room, not being backstage when you weren't supposed to be backstage, and most definitely not touching other people's costumes. And a lot of that came courtesy of the director of that show, Jerry. Jerry is just one of the sweetest guys I've ever met, and he's also really, 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 really good at making sure he has control of his child casts. At Riverland, which I just graduated from this past May, holla, there have been 3 directors that I've worked with. Well, 3 theatrical directors. That doesn't count the musical directors. I'll get to them in a different video. But there have been 3 theatrical directors that I've worked with. There was Jerry, there was Lindsay, and there was Susan. Jerry was the first one, and he was the one with the ability to do child casts. All 3 of these directors have, specific things that they are the best at out of the 3. And I'll get to that in another video, too, probably. Each of the other directors is most likely going to get their own video, because, let's face it, I love them all too much not to talk about them. But Jerry's thing was definitely maintaining control over child casts, so I was very well taught. But the other thing that I really, really got out of that show is that nobody succeeds alone, which is also the other part of why I wanted to do this YouTube channel. I am one of those people who really likes to talk about it when people they love help them to do cool things. Because really, I mean, if you don't give the credit where the credit's due, what even is the point? So yeah, I'm excited to see you all next week, hopefully with another cool video, and more stories about cool people who help me do cool things. See ya!